left.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Voice is Clown.
Not Clown. Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark. Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto. My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god, we're here. We're actually live. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Welcome to the premier comic book review channel / show on YouTube. No one does it better. I'm kidding. There's like a million different channels that do their content way better than we do. But that being said, we appreciate every single one of you that is here live and watching the show as a past episode. Yes, we are here. We are live. We didn't have a show last week. We had some stuff to take care of. This coming week might be a little hectic. We'll have to wait and see. I'm getting a tooth pulled tomorrow, so I am not looking forward to that. But that's why I'm hanging out with y'all right now. So let's get down to business, and then we'll talk about this week's comics, which I thought were really fun. It was a fun week of comics. But first, let's talk about our show's sponsor, and that is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. That is our LCS here locally, and we encourage every single one of you, if you're ever in the DFW area, to go check out Collected Comics and Games. There's one in Fort Worth and one in Keller. Both Ron and Brent do an amazing job curating their collection and bringing in new books and new collectibles, all crazy kinds of good stuff. But we'd also like you to go to their website, brainycomics.com. If you head over to brainycomics.com, you can do a little bit of shopping, and you can buy exclusive and variant covers, bundles, bad idea books, new comics, mystery bags, bag issues, graphic novels, games, toys and collectibles, and even trading cards, which is pretty cool. But yeah, head on over there if you want to do a little bit of shopping. Say you got a little extra cash and you want to buy some cool stuff over at brainycomics.com. Do some shopping, and then right before you check out, we'd love for you to go up to that search bar and type in 2 Fat Guys Pull List, and this will pop up. It is a upgrade that you can put in your cart, which if you do the $8 upgrade, that gets you 1 mystery exclusive comic cover. If you do the premium, you get 2 for $15. Now, if you notice, most of these variants run around $15 to $20 a cover. So, the first one's a pretty damn good deal, but the premium upgrade gets even a better deal because most of these covers are worth around $20 to $25, $15 to $25, maybe even $30 a cover. So head on over to brainycomics.com, do a little bit of shopping, then throw that premium upgrade into your cart and see what mystery covers you get when your shipment arrives in the mail. The other business that we have to talk about, as always, is our subscriber giveaway. We're hitting sub goals. We just recently hit 750, and now we are on our way to hitting 850. Now, last I checked, this number fluctuates, from time to time. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down from this recording. But last I checked, we were at 774 subscribers. So yeah, look, we're turning it up. You know what I'm saying? But once we hit that 750, we're giving away a DC slab this sub goal, and it is a 9.8 Green Lantern #1 retail incentive with John Stewart on the cover. It's a sick cover. So make sure to be subscribed to the show, ring that bell, give us a like, and if you're new here, do all those things so that you can enter to win one of this slab specifically. But then once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're gonna give one away every 150 until we hit 1,000. And when we hit 1,000, we're giving away this Amazing Spider-Man #4 original Sin tie-in, first appearance of Silk, CBCS rated 9.8. We want to give it away. We will give it away. We got to hit 1,000 subscribers. So make sure that you are subscribed. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Thank you for listening to that TED Talk. And welcome to my next and our joint TED Talk. And that is why this week's comics were fun. Pretty good week. I think I have a pick of the week, but nothing really came out cut and dry for me specifically. And I think that really speaks to more of how fun the week was, how good the books were this week. I didn't have one that was just like blew me away, but they were all really fun in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely have one that was pick of the week. I feel pretty confident in calling my favorite book.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing what book that is. So let's go ahead and kick off the show with Amazing Spider-Man issue number 18. Before we get into that, let's get to the chat because we've got 3 people that are like, "What up?" and we haven't said hi. Joe, what up? Sebastian, what up? Empire, what up? Empire, did you let me know if you got your that Something's Killing the Children book? I'm sure you did, but I just want to make sure that you got that. That was one of our giveaways that we let fly when we hit 750 as well. A little quickie one that didn't, we just threw it out there. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man number 18. So, definitely saw some of the consequence from Gary Jerry's X-Men Dark Web tie-in.
Sure. Yeah.
Felt a little kind of like pass the ball. Okay, what do I do with it when it came to Madeline Pryor. So I was a little disappointed in that. I felt like there'd be more. I don't know. It's just when she came in and told Ben, "Hey, it's over." It was just like, literally verbatim, like, "It's over." She didn't throw the fear of limbo into him. She didn't punish him. She was just like, "Just turn the other cheek, Ben." Like, what? Like, yeah, you've redeemed yourself, but you're still a badass bitch. Like, why are you just playing nice? I don't get it.
Yeah, I think there was a few weaknesses when it comes to that, or maybe just inconsistencies with writing the characters.
Yeah.
What is it? Gary Jerry that's doing the X-Men book. He has a much better grasp of Madeline Pryor's voice, I think.
I would agree with
that. So that was a little awkward. What wasn't awkward was Wreck Rap. New favorite Spider-Man character. I want him in every single issue. And I only want him drawn by Ed McGuinness because he's like a huge, muscly. I love it. It was perfect.
No, it was definitely. I think he's probably the highlight of the book. I'd say. I bet some people would say. I bet some people. Now I'm not saying everybody, but I bet some people would say the highlight for them was Ben. Becoming the Goblin King. Whatever. I felt like that was kind of meh as well. But
cousin.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Like whatever. Like it's gonna go away in like 2 issues. I
think 1.
Right. 1 issue. Joe says, "I never disliked an event as much as my dislike for Dark Web. From characters not acting like they have been built up to. Ben Reilly was built up great with the Beyond story, then jobbed in the event. Making Ben Reilly a lackey to Madeline was bad. He should have killed her for giving up so easily. Okay. That would make this story better. As soon as she gets her memory and then she dies. Ooh, I kind of like that.
I mean, that makes me very sad. I don't want that to happen to Madeline, but
no doubt. But I think it definitely, that definitely would have made the story stride way more. Patty, hey, everyone's going. Wasn't a fan of the new beefed up corn Ben. Yeah, I don't think anybody. I don't know. I didn't like it. It's not that I didn't like it. I just was kind of like, okay, cool. This is like you said, it's gonna last an issue, and then he's gonna get banned to limbo, or I really don't know what the redemption is for Ben. If there is going to be any redemption.
I'm not sure there is either, and I'm sure that story is going to carry a little bit in the new, what is her name? All Hallows Eve or whatever. She's getting her own miniseries. So
not even like if you can't properly develop a character within your event, and you have to make a mini to develop the character, I don't think it's really worth my time, unfortunately. I don't know. Dark Web definitely feels like a fail, in my opinion, as an event.
Big time.
I think the only cool thing for me, again, in my opinion, was Gary Jerry's X-Men. I think the artwork was fantastic. I liked the redemption arc for her and how it was dealt with, and how Jean basically was so willing to give those memories and basically sort of like, hey, you don't gotta mind wipe me, bro. Like we can share these, you can have these experiences. And with Ben, it's like, oh man, and I don't care if you don't know why, and like, even though you do know why, it's still confusing why, that's how it feels. And I'm not gonna say I have no hope for the Omega, but I don't have very high hopes for the Omega and the ending of the event.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think the only thing for me that's positive out of this event was us not having Junior on the artwork. And we're actually not going to have him in the next 2 issues because we're getting a little mini from Dodson, which will be really cool.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Which I'm super stoked for that. But then we go right back into Romita Jr. So if you're not a fan of Romita Jr., just take it all in, folks, because he's coming back in the summer. But I don't know. To me, this was just kind of meh. It was meh.
Yeah, Zeb Wells isn't even writing those issues either. I forgot about that.
Joe, when you first read Spider-Man, you wouldn't think the first event would be this silly. Doesn't get the tone that Wells is telling. That I will say, I think he's saying something there, because the tone that Wells was setting prior to the Dark Web, I wouldn't say is gritty, but it was edgy and kind of like, oh shit, like,
yeah,
gangster,
When Tombstone threw down the you think you know better than us, but we're all living, like, we're all doing our own things, and like sort of questioned Peter's like black and white mentality that everything is good, either good or bad, and there's no gray area. I was like, oh shit, this is like Chip Zdarsky level Daredevil, like,
right,
commentary, and we just dropped it after issue 5. That has not been touched, and that, you're right, this tone is just not at all what we got from the start of this book. So if you were trying to keep some continuity there, you missed it for sure. Turtle,
what up, yo? We did not miss Sins of Sinister. Don't worry, we will get to that, and I know you are very, very eager to talk about that book. So am I.
I got some statements that are going to inflame both of y'all. So
okay, that's fine. I don't care. Whatever. That's the point of the show. Joe, I tried not to get wrapped up in the editorial things of comics, but this was a serious editorial decision. Yeah,
I do feel bad for Nick Lowe, because he got his ass torn up on Twitter because of this event and this issue in particular.
Yeah, well. Okay. Well, let's move on, because I'm done talking about that.
Yes,
all right. Well, this one will be quick. So we get Doctor Strange issue number 3, Fall Sunrise from Tradmore. Visually, I said it like in issue 2. Visually stunning, absolutely stunning. That's my Manchester United voice. If I ever do Manchester United reviews of games, absolutely stunning. The story, I don't know what the fuck is going on in this book. Someone's giving birth, might kill Doctor Strange. He's in multiple dimensions. He's fighting lava gods. Like, it is.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking wicked. But I just the copy, the writing is just so, like, I'm sure, Nate, you'll read this and your third eye will open and you'll just be like, oh god, you're so stupid for not knowing what's going on here. But dude, it is fucking heavy. I mean, I'm a little frustrated because I had very high hopes for this book, but I can't follow it. It's so hard to follow because the artwork is so pleasing and so big that when you read, it doesn't feel like the words are connecting to the artwork. And I don't know. I feel like it's Trad Moore just trying to be like, I don't want to say meta, but just being
Meta.
yeah, and like I don't know where, like, the meta of what, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where it just feels like there's so many sources being pulled that aren't Doctor Strange in the book that it doesn't feel, if you just were to read it, wouldn't feel like a Doctor Strange book. But the artwork, fuck, like, pull any panel out and I would love to make that a poster and put it on my wall, you know, like, it's absolutely stunning. So that's all I got to say about this. But Nate, I know you do want to read it at some point. But
yeah, we've got one more issue. I'll just read it either collected or one big group for the final review.
Right. Thank God I got a lot of things to say about Sins of Sinister. Good. I'm waiting for it. The turtle. He also said my critique will be as hot as light writing in the Death Note for the first time. Damn, son. I guess you didn't like it. Joe, I think this book is a visual masterpiece, but man, I don't like reading something that I feel like I'm not smarter than a fifth grader. What's the point of this book? Joe, yeah, you just encompassed my thoughts perfectly with that right there. Maybe be better to read as a trade. I don't know, man. Issue 2 was fucking thick. Like, Tradmore's dissertation on psychedelics, the human psyche, was in that book, and I am still lost. And I'm still lost in this one. But art-wise, yeah, I will definitely buy the Treasury edition when it comes out, because the artwork alone is worth this book, worth buying it. But the writing, right there with you, you got to be fucking next level smart, like 3 master's degrees, and I don't even know what. Like, oof. All right, here we go. Sins of Sinister, issue number 1. I am. Go ahead.
Oh, this is my pick of the week.
Okay. I was not expecting that. I thought for sure you'd be mad.
No. This is my pick of the week, and I can't remember his name. What was that guy's name? Johnny Hatman or something, but whatever his dumbass name was, I'm not worried about it. Kieran Gillen's the leader of X-Men, and I don't give a shit. Like, this was good.
It was good because it was detail oriented.
Uh-huh.
Show notes were there. Kieran Gillen took those and fucking put steroids, just, you know, and we got action. It felt, I know you just said who's Hickey Mickey, you know, but it definitely felt like old school Hoxpox. Like, it felt like you were back in your old stomping grounds, but there were new, you know, oh shit, I didn't know they built a Chick-fil-A over there, you know, like that kind of thing. Like all the new restaurants that you missed after you already graduated college, right?
Yes.
That's what this felt like to me. Now, I'm very interested to see what Turtle what you have to say about this, but I was very impressed. I thought the artwork was fantastic.
Amazing artwork.
For me, MVP of this issue has to be Storm. Has to be Storm.
Of course.
Just
can you just hold on for a minute though? How good, and this is what this era of X-Men comics has been about, is the long payoff, right?
Right.
Just in so many different ways, you know, it's like when you get the long payoff, it feels really good, and it feels like it's been so long since we've gotten it. How amazing is the payoff that we get to see how important it is that Storm has never died. Because Storm has never died and been resurrected, she does not have any sinister influence whatsoever. And so she is able to survive the onslaught of Sinister.
Yeah.
And I love that. That to me by far was the biggest part of the issue.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And that sneakiness, you know, the I would say almost predictable, yet still like, oh shit, that's how it went down. Sneakiness of Sinister and being able to manipulate DNA and putting his DNA in every, like, it's almost like we kind of saw it coming, right? Like, I think in the back of everybody's mind, when Sinister became involved in Hoxpox, we were all like, this dude's gonna fuck you. Like, you can't trust the dude. And even Moira said it, like, I don't trust this fucker. And, you know, I will give credit where credit's due. What up, Calvin? You know, I did my homework. I listened and read every little fucking tidbit that I could get, excuse my language, from Comic Book Herald. Like, he is just an encyclopedia of information in predictions that I just can't miss it, you know. And if there's one channel that I would recommend to any one of our viewers that is hardcore into comics and hardcore into X-Men, is Comic Book Herald. That guy is such an abundant resource for this show. Like, it's literally, and I wouldn't say it's homework, but I just enjoy listening to him so that I can feel confident in my review, in my thoughts in the X-Men books. And I just think he did a great job. I think Karen Gillan is on his way to cementing his legacy in this Krakoa era, and probably, you know, will be the one, outside of, you know, some unforeseen movement within the Marvel office where they're like, and Hickman's coming back to end Krakoa, which I know that's a wish, but I just don't see that happening. So I think Karen Gillan will be the one, and rightfully so, be the one to close the book and the chapter on Krakoa whenever that does happen. But I know you are eager to get to chat because Last is going woof.
Let's see.
Well, while you read, there was one. If there was one minor complaint that I had to make, and it's something that I read and I was like, what? And then Comic Book Herald, going back to the well, brought it up, is the lack of respect for Moira. Like, Moira literally gets a panel and then is like just wiped off, even though she was the alarm bell at the beginning of Hoxpox that was like, don't involve this guy, he's gonna fuck with you. And then she just literally got like, she just like a booger that just got shot off into the void.
In what way would she be included in this?
I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, she is included in it.
She's literally a cyborg that's like,
well, right. I just think it just sucks because she's been reduced down. I mean, she was such a huge player. Like, she really was, in the sense of establishing the Age of Krakoa, right? And then there was clearly a roadmap for her, and it didn't get used, right? So then we just, we were like, oh, when's the Moira book going to come out? Never did, right? And then when Hickman was like, all right, I'm ending my vision for X-Men, she got reduced down to like this cyborg, got completely betrayed and kind of pushed off to the side. And I just kind of find that frustrating because, that issue, is it issue 2? I think it's issue 2 of Powers, where we find out about her lives, right? And it was such a game changer. And I think that's one thing that I missed. Dude, I like cut my leg. And I don't know, like I just felt like I don't know. I want more for her, and I think that's just more of me being still bitter at the fact that she's not part of the big plan anymore, and she is a villain.
Yes, it's there. It is because you're an old man and you cannot let go of the past, just like most old people can't.
You can't either in some aspects.
You know what? I've literally moved on so well from things. Look at football and the
you were
Eagles
still
going to the Super Bowl. Yay! I've let it go. I don't even care about it anymore.
Oh, you're right. You were okay. Anyway, continue.
Okay. So Last says, Sins of Sinister has a lot happening that Kieran was building up to. My biggest complaint is that there doesn't seem to be a lot of meat on this steak because we know everything is going to go back. Yeah. And I do see that, but I think that's at least to me, that's what makes it a little bit fun. In some way, it's going to go back in some way. I don't like how the X-Line hasn't really hinted at this more heavily And again, I harken back to Hickman's Infinity event. The whole event was awesome, but the name of the game was still the fall of the multiverse. I need the X-Line to have a singular plot that always is creeping in the background. Well, those are two different things. I think you're right. I think having a singular plot that's always creeping in the background is something that the X-Line could do much better, and that has been missing since, well, even before Hickman got off the book, I think. But definitely was dead once we got to Ten of Swords. And Araka was, the Arakans were always the thing kind of creeping in the back, and then now that they're there, we didn't have that. But you're never, ever, 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 ever going to get this X-Line to feel like Hickman's Marvel run, the Fantastic Four, Avengers, Infinity, up to Secret Wars. That was literally, I mean, it literally changed the entire corner, every little nook and cranny of Marvel. And that was 7 years ago, 8 years ago. We're not doing that again. We're not doing that again anytime soon. And there's no way in hell they're going to let the mutants be the ones to carry that right now. It's not going to happen. We're doing 10 to 12 books, at concurrent for X. We're not stopping that. There's no way Marvel's going to stop that.
Right. I mean, currently there's only 3 books that have that underlining storyline, and we know what those are. It's Kieran's book, it's Ewing's book, and it's for some reason Cy Spurrier's book. But we jumped off that a while ago. But apparently, we're gonna be, me and you are gonna be really lost when we read that book, because there are plot lines that happened apparently in his book. I said apparently a lot. That will be major driving force in his book, obviously. I don't know if I care.
Yeah, I don't know. If I'm that lost, maybe I'll go back and try to catch up. But I don't know. Getting back to this particular issue, though, and I guess I think the reason why I was able to enjoy this so easily without really critiquing the shit out of it like I probably would have, is because I've relaxed on the X-Line. I think the greatest thing I could have done for my enjoyment for books is not caring anymore, and just reading the books. I think I'm being serious. I think I think I was too built up into it, and my expectations were getting out of hand, to the point where I was getting so disappointed I didn't want to read any of the X books. It was a chore to read. If it had X, the little X symbol on the top, I was just like, I'm out. And so cutting out Wolverine and X-Force, letting Legion, go by the wayside, I think that helped me a ton. So when we get to this book and I get to see fucking Beast and Colossus chimeras and Sunspot and Iceman chimeras, I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I want. Namor with the goddamn pike through Doctor Doom, like, yes, this is the kind of shenanigans that I want to see.
Who got shot through Thanos' head?
Let's see.
That sentence alone just makes this book
right. It does.
I want to say it looks like
Juggernaut.
Iron Man.
It was Juggernaut.
Got it.
Yeah, it was Juggernaut.
Yeah. Well, Last also says, I also hope Apocalypse comes back somewhere. Dude, don't get my hopes up. But yes, I agree. Like,
I think if anything, that should be the thing that's lingering in the background, right? And you know what? What's the ironic thing is, or the funny thing is, what's most likely to get a hint of that, and that's the Teenie Howard book that so many people are poo-pooing on. That were
true.
In current hiatus, but it's probably going to be Richter and his new love for magic that are going to be giving us hints at Apocalypse coming back. I mean, he has named himself the essential heir.
Have you read the solicitations for her new book, though, the Captain Britain book? Like, it really does feel like it's not part of the X-Line. Like, it really feels like it's. And again, I could be wrong, but the way it looks and the way it's being presented, it kind of feels like it's not part of the X-Line. Like, she's doing her own thing, trying to get into good graces, good graces with the mainland, with the UK. I hope I'm wrong, but it kind of feels that way. While you look that up, I wish we get more. I wish we would get more chimeras sooner, in the line they raised to be the linchpin of the downfall of mutants and the rise of them. Well, you know, looking at the solicitations, which is kind of like using cheat codes. You know, Rasputin clearly looks like she's going to be the one to save Sinister. It looks like she's going to be the one to get him back home. At least that's how it kind of looks. But we'll have to wait and see. And I hope that character makes it out of this. That would be really cool if she did. I know.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it looks like you're right. It doesn't look like any of that supporting cast besides Rachel. Looks like it's just gonna be Betsy, her brother, and Rachel.
Yeah, it is not an X-Men book. Which whatever, you know.
I mean,
but I just
it is. It literally is following. Two
but
mutants.
it isn't. I just don't think it's gonna be. I think
it's not going to be consequential to.
Correct. It's going to be an
thing.
Exterminator's book, you know, which I like, and I'm going to be picking up and reading. So, let's see here. Calvin, I don't know why they used Moira this way. She's such a different person character-wise. They could have just made a new character. Yeah, I mean, you know, she is the vessel of this event, right? She is the mechanism that is allowing Sinister to continuously go down these timelines, and now someone has stolen that. Any guesses to who that might be? I know I have my cheat code for it. Comic Book Herald thinks it's Storm. That Storm stole him, but we'll see. I don't know. It's
well, if there's anyone to blame for Moira, it's definitely excuse me, Hickman. That's 100% a Hickman thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Hickman set her up to be really cool, and then, you know, whether it was his decision or the lack of motivation to move on within the X office, she.
No, I mean, Calvin's saying she's such a different person character-wise, like than the way that the way she's been portrayed in the past 50 years of comics versus the way she's been done in the past 5 years. Right. It's right. It could have been different, but it wouldn't have been ingrained in the history of the X line for so much,
right? For
so long.
Well, looking forward to what do we get? Immortal next? Immoral.
Yeah.
I think it's it's gonna be. I think the way it goes is it's
2
Immoral.
weeks, right?
Yeah, Immoral, then Storm and the Brotherhood, and then Seisberger's book. So that's the one that I'm like looking forward to the least. But who knows? Maybe I'll be surprised. All right, let's talk about the Blade really quick. Star Wars High Republic issue number 2. I didn't read it.
Do what?
I missed it.
Oh, okay. I really enjoyed this book. So we did we cover the first book?
Yes.
Okay. So here we are getting a little bit more information on what's going on that planet and the sort of stalemate that we have going between the two factions. And that maybe things aren't quite the way that we think they are. The one clan claims that the other has stolen their princess, but the other one said, "You mean the princess that I married? Like she came to me and we got married because she's a refugee from people because they were trying to kill her." and so like the Jedi are like, "Bro, what? What's going on,
bro? What?"
And at the same time, the people that are the aggressors that are claiming their princess was stolen call in a hit squad. Basically, it's like, "Hey,
oh shit!
Just so you know, there's Jedi here too." And they're like, "Yeah, we don't fucking care. We're gonna kill them all. It's fine."
See you later, Calvin. Have a good night.
See you, Calvin. So basically, we're finding our Jedi friends a little bit more in deep doo-doo than we initially thought they were going to be. I'm really interested to see kind of where this is going, because again, this is doing exactly what I want Star Wars books to do, and that is to put Jedi in situations that we haven't seen and see how they react. And we have 2 very non-conventional Jedi in this book. We have Jedi that are essentially like, so far, non-romantic partners, but they are like joined at the hip. We even get insight in this issue to see that they purposefully dumbed themselves down while in Padawan training so that they would see that we need to keep them together because they're much better together than they are separate, because they started separating them because they were relying too much on each other.
Gotcha.
So I think that's really interesting, because so far we've only we only know about Porter Engle as an individual, and we see him later. We've never heard of his sidekick of friend of his, which one I'm interested to learn more about. Two, she definitely gonna die.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure she's gonna.
And in this issue, she even remarks like, "Oh, like, you know, your race lives for hundreds of years and mine doesn't. You're gonna have to, you know, go on without me eventually." And he's like, "Nah, we'll figure it out." So yeah, I mean, nothing really blew me away here. This is very much going to be a 5-issue story that I think should have only ever been released as a graphic novel, but it's, you know,
Right.
we got to make money and do singles in the graphic novel. But this just felt like a really good part 2 of the 5-part one chunk story. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, cute. All right, let's talk about Thor, issue number 30, The Legacy of Thanos, part 2. There's some heavy shit going on in this book. You know, we'll get a little bit of history lesson. We see Thor's grandfather actually fight Thanos, which I thought was pretty damn cool. And we got Thanos, you know, trying to recover his sister before she is sacrificed or something going on with her. Overall, I'm enjoying it. I am still digging the hell out of Groenbeck taking over the book unceremoniously. And I feel like she deserves a lot more credit than just kind of like, oh, and now she's getting the book. You know, like even in the back end of the book, where we get like the notes like from the editor, like we get no kind of, hey, by the way, you know, like it's just kind of like, we don't talk about it, you know. And I'm like, you know, I think, you know, no matter what is going on with Donnie, I think Groenbeck deserves a little bit more accolades for picking up the book and like really pushing it past, you know, what Donnie was doing. You know, I think she's doing a really good job of picking up, you know, whatever he laid down and is, you know, doing a damn good job at continuing that story. I don't know. I get an overwhelming sense that, you know, shit's about to get really crazy, which is insane to say with a book that Donnie's not involved with, you know, because Thor has been just trudging along and it just doesn't feel like it's really missed a beat, in my opinion, with Groenbeck on it.
Joe has a really good point. Joe says, Thor is great, even though I miss Starring's style, but I'm connected to this slow burn mystery hunt. But the MVP of this book is definitely Nick Klein. The art was beautiful. Love Vikings and splash pages is awesome. I read this issue twice because I love looking at the art. Totally agree. Nick Klein is doing A+ work on this book by far.
A++.
I'm curious to see how you feel about the twist at the end.
I can't remember.
So Thor decides that he's going to open the door, and Odin is speaking to him through Mjolnir. He's like, "Please don't open the door. Like, I'm telling you, please do not do this. Please don't."
Yeah.
And he opens the door, and it triggers a bug to go fly and tell its master that the door's been opened. And who is the bug's master? Dr. Doom.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
What?
That's right.
I am such a Dr. Doom fan. Getting a Nick Klein panel of Dr. Doom, fuck yeah. But god damn it, every book does not need to have Dr. Doom in it. Why does Dr. Doom have something to do with
because
before
Doom...
time in history Thor's granddad secret story? It's not cool. It's not be like, oh, Doom's so involved, man. He's even back that shit.
Whoa. I think he just put the bug on the door because he wanted to find out what's behind the door. I don't think he's involved with the grandfather.
Maybe.
I think he just was like, put this here, so when this thing opens, I know that I can go get it. Dude, Doom is Doom, dude. You don't fuck. You are like the biggest Doom fan. You ought to know that Doom is involved with everything.
It's too much. I think I'm bordering on too much. Like, I love Doom, but like it's just same thing with Wolverine, right? Like, Logan is a badass character, but Doom we were getting oversaturated with him and and X-Force and back to back and the weird shit, and it's just like, come on, like we don't need to have Doom. Like I don't want every twist to be like, oh, there's Doom again.
Keep going. No.
I think you can overdo it. I think you can overdo it. And one of my characters, period.
You went to Austin and now you're like just you heard it here, folks. He absolutely despises and hates Doctor Doom.
That's it. He's the worst character Marvel's ever created.
Damn, Nate, hold on. Just
you take your time.
You keep going. Keep bashing. Because I'm gonna show you something.
Patty's talking handyman to us, and I don't understand what he's just finished changing. He said he just finished changing front control arms in a Cobalt.
What?
But he got the big set because he had to cut the wrench in half. That sounds like strong man's work, and I don't know what that means. You must have done some heavy lifting or tools or.
I can't find the panel. Right.
What panel of what?
Who's the bad? Who's the big bad?
Okay, I know. Okay, I know. It's the greatest panel in Marvel history.
Okay,
but if you continue to just use Doom in every piece, it loses its aspect. It loses its feeling. It loses
I disagree, and I am not a fan of. I am not this. I'm not a simp for Doom like you are. Like I don't just like no. And I'm just telling you, I think you are. I think you will regret what you're saying.
I will not.
I think you will.
Absolutely not.
All right, we'll see.
Doom
is the best when he has his big D belt buckle.
Big D belt.
Nick Klein, you know what, Joe? I'm going to agree with you. Nick Klein won the pick of the week for me. He's just overall Nick Klein. That's it for me. But all right, let's keep going. Exterminators issue number 5 wrapped up perfectly. Artwork amazing. And I'm not going to spoil it because you know what? Everyone should go read this book. At the back of the book, Kevin Feige's influence there. The exterminators will return. That's how the book ended, and I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like I'm super stoked. This was a fun book. It came out of nowhere for me, and the resolution, I will say, and again, going back to Comic Book Herald, he said, I think the one thing that could come out of this book as well that would be really kick-ass is if we got a Dazzler ongoing. And I 100% agree with that. I hope that happens. She definitely flexes her muscles in this book.
Dazzler of all of them?
No, I mean, she's a boss. Like she ends up getting a revenge on this vampire.
Well, and see, I would say it'd be better to have a Laura Kinney book, but they're already giving her three. But they're not even modern books. They're all like, flashback books.
Well, so I think Dazzler deserves one, and I think Williams would do great. All right, let's just continue Exterminators. I think this is a really fun book. I think, again, you don't have to really worry about continuity, even though continuity weaves itself in and out of this book and in other books reminding you of Exterminators. So, I don't know. Thought it was good.
Aren't you literally a master carpenter or engineer or repair person or something? No, just because you can do it does not mean we can do it.
Oh yeah, no.
I go to a shop to get my oil changed. I don't even do that shit myself. It's too dirty.
Patty says Dazzler could be an interesting show or movie if they did it proper, but it would be kind of hard. I don't know. We'll see.
It would be hard, but I think that would be pretty dope.
I think she deserves some spotlight for sure. All right, let's move over to DC with Dawn of DC's Superman Action Comics issue 1051.
Mm-hmm.
First supersized issue, more pages, more action. I will be honest with you, because that's all I can be, and I would never lie to you.
Yep, totally.
I did not, surprise, read the backups because I don't care.
They're not backups. They're literally just part of the story.
They're backups because this book is Superman's book, and I read it for Philip Kennedy Johnson's story. Go ahead, kill me. I don't care.
I'm just curious how you have the audacity to get to decide what Action Comics is.
I do. I'm the reader, god darn it.
That is not how that works.
I don't know. I liked it. I liked the whole premise of the first story. You know what it is? What it is for me is it's there. I'm gonna go down like a philosophical rant here. What I don't like about DC's little philosophy here of, oh yeah, pay $4.99 because you're gonna get two others. You're getting more stories. I don't care. I just want to read the main story. That's all I want. Stop force feeding me to read other books, and they may be great. They may be insanely great, right? Take the Azrael story that I went and bought the one shot that was an accumulation of all the stories in one of the other Batman books, and it was fantastic. But I got to read it all in one sitting, and that's what it was. I don't like I don't like this move from DC saying, "Oh, but you get more comic." Yeah, but I don't get more of the same story. I read the story, then it's like, "Oh, now we're over here. Oh, now we're over here." And I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay, go ahead.
You are 100% correct. There is a right way and a wrong way to do backups or extra stories, or let's say,
right,
in a book. And the thing is, there is a book that is currently doing it masterfully and has been doing it masterfully for well over a year.
Yep.
That is Detective Comics. That is the perfect way. If you want to charge me $4.99 and shove a backup in there,
yeah,
that's the way to do it. They're doing a fantastic job, and we're going to get to that book next. This, though, with Action Comics, I think is not how you do it at all.
No.
And I am currently a Superman homer. I don't know what it is, but like I've been on some bullshit. I just read the entire Man of Steel first volume, John Byrne, in like a day and a half, and I'm already about to start the second one. Philip Kennedy Johnson's my guy. Like, I'm all about Superman right now. But I will tell you, I don't give a good goddamn about flashback stories of John when he was a little boy. And I certainly don't give a goddamn about Power Girl stories. And I don't want them, even ones written by Leah Williams, with super badass art.
Yeah.
If I wanted that, I would go buy that book. This is a backup, right? It's going to be probably 4 or 5 issues. Maybe it would fill one big $6.99 issue, like what you're saying with the Azrael thing. Let's do that. But it is. I was just as frustrated with backups in these two things as I have been with the Lazarus Planet tie-ins, which we haven't talked about, but I have been reading. They're awful, and they're like, if you are a huge DC fan and you love every DC character and you want to know what's going on with every person, doesn't matter, A, B, C, D, F, Z list character, you want to know what's going on, these books are for you. You're going to get to find out. But like, my brain's only so big, and it's not that big to begin with. I cannot be shoving in all these details about characters I don't care. I especially don't care about reliving Super Sons era John Kent. If like, let it go. If we want to do that, then de-age him again or something. But like, I just don't.
Right.
And by the way, you would have gotten double irritated because I'm pretty sure within the Dan Jurgens, like the young John story, I think it's only 7 pages, and I think you're referenced to go back and read the Death of Superman 30th anniversary 5 times in 7 pages.
Fuck that shit.
I was reading this, and I was like, "There's no way James he would have called me right away."
DC is so notorious for that, right? Like, and I'm not saying it's not warranted. In specific instances, it is. But like, if you're gonna put it on every fucking page, God, no, absolutely not. This book had me so hyped for the cover alone, and it's just a Dan Mora cover, and I'm like, yo, House of L, let's go. And it does feel like
I'm still gonna continue to buy it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna buy it, but I'm not gonna read those other books though, and I know that's a disservice to myself because I'm not getting my money's worth. But at this point, I don't care. Yeah. But what we see in front of us, this whole establishment of this super family, and like, how can you lose? How do you lose with this many people? But it's clearly it's gonna happen. But it's got me totally intrigued, and I'm very excited for it. As long as we just stick just keep a consistent artist for at least an arc, please. Don't do this jumping around shit that DC has been really bad about.
Yeah,
and Marvel too, but
I will say I think I said this in the past, but Philip Kennedy Johnson has definitely been reading Dan Slott's Fantastic Four and going, yo, I like that little kid shit, like where you get them and they're in like in a bad place, you get them and they're like, we don't understand you Earth people and what's happening, and like, but they're super powered, and like he was like, yep, love that shit, I'm doing that too. And I'm glad he did, because I really like that aspect. It was a lot of fun. The Philip Kennedy Johnson story was good. I loved seeing the family all together, and I want more of that, please. It looks great. Art was great. Let's just, the backups are going to be there, so let's just say we don't like them and not complain about it anymore.
Okay. Let's go to
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So chat, let me set you straight here. So, Joe said, I heard the new Green Lantern book coming. We'll have 2 writers, Jeremy Johnson. So get ready to pay $4.99. Yes. Patty says, also I'm only human. All I do is try and ask questions, do lots of research, and you don't know till you know. But trust me, if you can do it, if I can do it, you can do it too. That's just not true. That's not true at all. So new Green Lantern. The new Green Lantern book is a Hal Jordan centered Green Lantern book.
Main story. Right?
Do what?
Main story is Hal.
That is the main story. Jeremy Adams, the guy that's doing the current Flash book, is going to be the backup. So it's not going to be full split in half. The backup story is going to be Philip Kennedy Johnson writing a story about God damn it, what's his name? John Stewart.
John Stewart.
But it is leading into its own book. So this backup, if you're interested in, I know you guys, particularly John Stewart, like I do, the Philip Kennedy Johnson backups in the first arc of the Adams Green Lantern are leading directly into
his book.
Into his own book. So, yes. The Hal Jordan book I'm not very interested in, because from what the solicitations say, it looks like it's going to be a Hal Jordan stuck on Earth centered story. And boy, if there's anything I give a shit less in Green Lantern books, it's being on Earth and being centered around Hal Jordan. So I don't know that I'll be, I don't know, I'll probably pick it up just to read the Philip Kennedy Johnson backups. But
right, and I'll probably read it because,
let's go to our... You love pseudo Trumplican air pilots.
God, anyway, that is so not true. Anyway, Joe's halftime question. Kevin Feige just called you and wants you to build a team of a new book called Avengers of the Galaxy. Who is the team? Mine are Captain Marvel, Carol, Beta Ray Bill, Nova, and Nebula.
You cannot ask me this question.
Well, he did. And now we have to answer it. No, you have to answer it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's...
Okay, wait, how many... Wait, so he picked how many? 5?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4? I thought there was 5.
Captain Marvel, Carol, Captain Marvel is what he's saying. Captain Marvel, Carol, Captain Marvel. Carol Danvers. Beta Ray Bill. Nova and Nebula. 4.
I'd do 5. But all right, go ahead.
Okay, I will do 5. And the 5 are going to be Nova, Star-Lord, Phyla-Vell. What?
Star-Lord?
Yeah, because Nova and Star-Lord are going to be best. They're going to be bang buddies in space. I want to see boyfriend drama in space with those two.
I just never thought you'd say that. Okay, go ahead.
No,
Star-Lord.
The current Star-Lord.
Yeah, psychedelic Star-Lord. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nova, Star-Lord, Phyla-Vell.
These are all Guardians of the Galaxy, though. It's Avengers of the Galaxy.
They're just Guardians. Sorry, they're all Guardians.
No, dude, come
Moondragon
on.
And
You're doing Al Ewing's Guardian run. Come on, stop it. You need to do an Avenger.
Oh, those are my favorite. That's what I'm doing.
No, that's lame.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, here's mine. Beta Ray Bill.
Wait, all of his are space ones too.
No, but
yes.
Where's the damn question?
Captain Marvel, Beta Ray Bill, Nova.
Yeah, but Captain Marvel's not a Guardian of the Galaxy.
She's a goddamn Kree.
Sure, but she's an Avenger.
They're all space people. I'm not asking you.
I'm not saying space people. I'm not saying Damn it, Joe. What did you do? I'm not saying space people, but don't pick all former or current Guardians. Like, throw in some Peppa.
Storm.
Okay, see? Was that hard?
Yes.
I like that, actually. That's really good. Okay, here's mine. Beta Ray Bill. Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
He does not belong on that team. Fine. Moon Knight.
Okay.
Yeah, Moon Knight. No, Moon Knight. Okay, so Beta Ray Bill, Moon Knight. No, fuck it. Never, I'm sorry. No Moon Knight. Beta Ray Bill, Silver Surfer Black. Cosmic Ghost Rider.
I'm out.
Magneto.
Dead.
Shut up. This is my team. And who? Huh? What?
Oh, nothing. I'm talking to Patty.
Y'all talking shit? Y'all talking shit?
No, he said if an X-Men could be an Avenger Guardian, I just picked the Avenger Guardians.
Who's my fifth? Oh, I don't know her name, but Peach Momoko's Psylocke, like that character. That's the main character.
Sure.
You're so lame.
Joe, if I also get to choose the writer and we're playing Fantasy Land, then it's easy. It's Tinian. Tinian's the writer.
Damn, son.
And it's a horror space drama.
Jesus Christ.
And the drama is Star-Lord and Nova like trying to figure out their relationship, because Gamora has cut things off with Star-Lord. She needs time separate from him. They were about to do a poly 3-way thing anyway, so
you and your poly.
Now it's just two. It's just Star-Lord and Nova.
Joe just said Darth. Just said Darth
Vader. Fuck yeah.
That'd be pretty dope. All right, let's okay, who's the writing guys, you know who that is.
He's already written
No, absolutely not.
Who?
Really?
I genuinely had no idea.
Daniel.
Oh,
Warren
fuck.
Johnson.
Yeah, I actually might even be better than Tinian writing.
Drop the hammer. All right, let's move on. Detective Comics 1068. It was good. I definitely liked the Two-Face aspect of the book for sure. Mm-hmm. I love that inner dialogue / altercation between him and his other side of his face. That was good. I will say I am getting a little burnt out, and this is not a valid complaint because we just talked about consistency. I'm a little over the artwork. I'm not really digging the artwork as much. It's just. Let me rephrase. It's not that I hate it. It's not that I'm like. Ugh! It does really nothing for me. It doesn't get me excited. It doesn't have that, in my opinion, outside of Two-Face's design. The artist depiction of Two-Face is absolutely stunning, but. Other than that, I'm just not really impressed with the artwork. So this book is starting to lack a little bit in that regard. When it comes to the writing, nope, fucking fantastic, superb. Ram V is kicking ass, and the slow burn is real.
Yeah, I will disagree heavily with that. I think the art's great in this book. I definitely
would
not. I wouldn't say it's anywhere like Nick Klein level at all.
No.
Like,
listen,
it doesn't bother. I'm just saying I didn't notice it in any sort. So I think if it was obtrusive to you, at least enough to think about it. It was not.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying it's like I'm not going to pick this book up anymore. It's just not. It's just not scratching that itch of like it all just kind of coming together. I feel like this book would be even in higher regard, in my opinion, if the artwork was
Mhm.
just a little bit more emphasized.
I will say this issue, it in some ways feels like more of the same of the Rom V run, but in a good way. Like it just, oh yeah, we're continuing the same pace and the same grittiness.
Right.
But in some ways, this issue felt kind of meandering, like it was a first draft. Like we didn't quite.
Ooh,
it wasn't very tight. It just kind of felt like I don't know, kind of meandered a little bit. And unfortunately, the Size Furrier kind of did the same.
Okay.
I was super excited to see that Danny was still doing the art. I think that her art is really, really like blurry, scratchy, almost hard to see. It adds to the mystery of who this boy is that is helping Gordon. But other than that, I would say this is just like a beat, like just like a regular average beat detective book.
Okay.
Overall, though, like the overall story, I'm very interested in. More of this Two-Face inner monologue, dialogue, crazy arguing stuff I'm down for. And now that we see that the burned half knows who Batman is, I'm curious to see how that's going to play out.
Oh, no doubt. It's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. All right, let's move over to our independents. Behold Behemoth issue number 3. I think overall, and the reason why I say this is just because I like that this book made me think of this, and I think this is why it's my pick of the week. It's a selfish pick of the week, but it's my pick of the week because I got done reading it and going like, I can just see this book becoming the next big Netflix show or movie to come to the streaming service. It just feel like when you read it, it feels like a movie. It reads like a movie. The hints and the story drops that we get, it just feels like there's always something new to learn, and you're always wondering, okay, well, what does this mean? And we finally get a good tidbit of that in this book. We get the lore of the behemoths, we get the lore of the Guardian, we get lore of what they are and where they come from and why they're such a menace or even savior depending on your situation. And we get an insight to our main character and why he's been chosen. I don't know if why he's been chosen as to being this little girl's guardian, but it's been mandated and dictated by history that he will be the guardian of this little girl who beholds the behemoth within inside her. Yeah. Thought it was really cool, and I thought the artwork was great. And I don't know. It's just, I think it's because it's such an original idea that it clicked for me. And I'm coming up with this on the spot. I didn't know what my pick of the week was going to be, but as I remember reading this book, as much as Sin of Sinister just fucking destroyed it, this for me is my pick of the week, just because I'm digging it, and I'm hoping that at the end of this 5-issue run we get like, Behold Behemoth will be back for second arc or some shit like that.
Yeah. See, so that was what I was going to get to. Is I really enjoyed this, and so I did catch up. So I read all 3 issues this week, catching up. Right. So it was all pretty fresh, and this was really close for me too. As a matter of fact, while I would say that Nick Klein's art is better and more, I don't know, more talented or whatever, but like this style, Nick Robles' art, is the original reason what put this on my radar, and this just hit out of the park for me.
Right.
His art and his atmosphere that he creates is just fantastic. There's no reason why this guy is not headlining a Marvel or DC book.
I agree.
But story-wise, we're 3 issues into a 5-part mini, and I'm like, this feels like we're building up for a 30-issue arc.
Yeah.
And we're not. And so I'm like, okay, we've done 3 issues, and all I do is you just laid the foundation for me. So we're supposed to hit climax and finish in the next 2 issues. Like I feel like, but I mean, we are. There's only 2 more issues. So even if there's another arc, there's still like the. What I'm saying is, I don't think they can nail it in 2 issues, even if there's parts. Because
I don't think that's the goal. Now that we've gotten this issue, does that make sense? Like, I understand what you're saying. You're saying, like, foundationally and by the rules of solicitations, we only have 2 more issues, and I have a feeling that's going to pull a Nice House on the Lake, and the last issue is going to be like, and it's going to, be prepared for the next arc coming in the summer, or coming in late summer, early fall. I personally think that's not going to, I think that's what's going to happen. I'm not hoping for it. I think that's what's going to happen, and I'm here for it.
Well, you know how we are with Boom Books. We're kind of, they hit that independent itch for us. I was like, almost every book does that. And this what drove me to this book. I didn't even care about the solicitation. It was literally the creative team,
right?
With Brumball and Robles. So
yeah, it's definitely a sleeper if you're not reading it. And I would go as far as to say I think you need to go, if you have the time and you have the money. It would behoove you to go get the floppies, even though I think, when the trade comes out, it'll be nice to read, but they're sick, man. This book is good. It's a sleeper. I know that we've kind of missed weeks where it was on, but we're here now. Behold Behemoth. Go check it out. All right, our last book of the night is Inferno Girl Red, issue number 1, or part 1, book 1 of 3. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I am much more intrigued, and I will be much more invested in this book, for me personally, than I will be with Radiant Black. It felt fresh. It didn't feel like the dialogue dragged, and I felt like I connected with our main character. That being said, there are some criticisms to the book that I had to go back and relook at certain things. Most specifically when the city that they're in gets teleported into another dimension. I completely missed that. I was reading it, and then they started talking, and there was this emergency broadcast from their mayor, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is going on? And I had to go, I was like, oh, the entire city just got poofed out of existence by some weird wizard. But this definitely scratches the Teenage Mutant Turtles, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers itch for me. It definitely feels more like that than that concept does in Radiant Black. And I don't know if it's because it's the more put your hand and do this move and swing, Supergirl, Sailor Moon, transformation. I love that. I love that shtick. But I dug the main character, Cássia, I think her name was. I don't know. I dig it, and it's a 3-parter. It's a Kickstarter book. This feels like what Radiant Black should have been without all the deposition and woe is me, I'm a failed writer. I don't give a fuck about that. I want, this was fun for me.
Okay.
I like the baddies too.
I have a few things about this book. First, I think maybe in the future this will tie into the Massiverse somewhere, and that's why they're including it. Right. But I will tell you right now, for people like me that are turned off by the Massiverse, including this in that is turned me off. It just seems like we're just throwing everything against the wall and saying it's all together and it's all included, and I don't like that. It's a small complaint, but that's just saying.
No,
that's just I had that sour taste going into this book.
I agree with you, and I think it's before you go on, I think that is emphasized when the book ends and the next page you see is also going on in the Massiverse, and I'm like, well, I'm not reading that one. I'm not reading that one. I'm not reading that one. I don't give a shit about that one. Really not reading that one. This is the only book for me currently going on in the Massiverse that I'm like, this is dope. This book to me, and I'll get off my soapbox after this. This book to me feels more Massiverse and what they were trying to do than all the other books that are currently in the Massiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just feels like we're going to get an intergalactical war with robots in this book.
Yeah. So another thing that I kind of didn't like is there's a awkwardness to this that I think they're trying to be a little bit kitschy, a little tongue-in-cheek, playful. We know this is corny, but the pages like this where she turns into Inferno Girl, and it's like, I'm the burning light of hope into the dark. I'm Inferno Girl Red, and like, it feels like they're attempting to be. Looks like they're honestly we're being corny, and it's like, yeah, I get it. It's not funny.
Oh, that was
it's weird. Now I will say all of these are really minor things. This is my biggest complaint of the book. I really like the art. I think the art's great.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I thought was really cool was the diversity of this book. Mm-hmm. There's basically no white people in this book. That's awesome. Our main character has vitiligo. When was the last time you saw a comic book character with vitiligo?
Right.
That's badass. You know, it's extremely uncomfortable, so much to the point that I don't know if I'm going to read the second book. This is an all-white creative team. Why are we doing that? Why is there not a single person of color on this creative team? If we're going to literally be creating characters that not only are of color, but at some points in this book, it was literally like cultural aspects were written into this book, and it's written by a white man and drawn by a white woman. It makes me feel very uncomfortable.
Well, okay. So how do we know for sure 100%?
Do you want me to show you pictures of the creators? Yes. I'm
okay.
sure.
Well, look at me.
The writer looks exactly like me.
Look at me.
Big old beard.
Look at me though.
Yes, James Verheyen. I see you.
And what am I?
You are mixed, and I understand what you're saying.
I am mixed. Yes, I am half white, half Mexican. Right.
I understand.
And if you look at me, you don't know that. So I would just and I could be wrong, and I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But I just, you gotta I would just say do the due diligence and the research into these people before you say that is a white man and that is a white woman.
I guess you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a Mexican last name. I have the whitest last name ever. You know what I mean? But my mom is from down south, so I would just say I get it. I totally understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying those are not valid concerns. But I would just look into it more before completely writing them off. And they could be. I mean,
and I'm not writing them off. I'm just saying that
makes me feel uncomfortable. Right. I get that. That totally makes sense. Especially with what, like you're saying, like with how diverse the book is. Mm-hmm. And it is. I remember reading, I was like, man, there's a lot of females in this book, and I have not seen one white guy, that aside, the mom is totally the original Inferno Girl Red. Like, duh, right?
Sure.
Yep.
She
okay,
is
all right.
for sure, yeah.
Just want to make sure I wasn't the only one going like, oh, no. I don't know. I liked it. I'm gonna pick up book 2. The fact that the other thing is this book is what? This book was $3.99. Was it?
Oh, I don't
know.
More? I don't remember.
Let's see here. Because it says on the title, it says on there $3.99, but I don't remember. No, it was a $5.99 book. I was gonna say I was about to give it kudos because this thing's thick, and it definitely it doesn't read thick though. I will say that it definitely
It did not. It was a very.
It reads
good
quick.
Read.
It reads in a good way.
Matt Groom. I mean, I obviously am not gonna be able to tell the dude's heritage, but he's from Australia. Also, he is the co-host of a Power Rangers podcast.
Well, okay.
I find that very funny.
Dude loves
now I understand why it feels so kitschy in Power Rangers.
Right, that's his
He's just trying to write his own Power Rangers.
Yeah, man.
Which is what Kyle Higgins and all the rest of them are trying to do.
Yeah, but the
Massiverse is just them trying to do their own Power.
But this actually feels to me very genuine to Power Rangers, and I liked the yeah, boom, like doing the 2 fingers to the watch and going Power Girl Ignite, I don't know, I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool. I'm gonna pick up book 2. I don't care. I'm gonna do it. All right, guys. Well, that was fun. Let's. Thanks for everybody that watched this episode live, episode/issue 119, and for everyone that is watching this as a past episode, we appreciate it very much. We will be back this Tuesday. Cross your fingers. Yes, we will. To do New Comic Book Day for this week. Joe says, "Is Philip Kennedy Johnson writing Jon Stewart a bad thing?" ?
I don't know that it's inherently a bad thing. Just like I don't know this is a
Bad thing.
either. I do think that like there is something to be said about creating your own characters versus using legacy characters that have
Legacy
been around for a
characters.
really long time. And I think there's also something to be said about I'm not making any judgments. I'm saying it just made me feel uncomfortable because like there are in some ways we need to have more diversity in books, and we're only going to get there if we all start including diverse characters in our books, including white people. I just don't want it to go so far as to like these white people are appropriating culture to try to promote sales of books. That's where it gets really awkward and weird. And I'm not accusing any of the creators of doing that, not even in the slightest bit.
Right.
I am just saying this is something
general,
I noticed that made me feel a little uncomfortable. I'm still going to read issue 2. This isn't going to stop me from reading.
Yeah.
But, so no, I don't inherently think Philip can John Stewart is a bad thing.
Right.
Especially if his story is not focused on anything that has to do with the identity of being black, because there are plenty of stories that are John Stewart that do have that and were written by white men, and I think are very cringy. So, so yes, I guess it depends on what Johnson writes.
The word cringy reminds me, like, I feel like the word cringy should be like a snack, like a Pringle-esque.
I feel like it's gotten to the point where the word cringy is cringy.
Right. Grab yourself a bag of cringies. Cringy! You know, anyway. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. I think it's because I'm delaying the inevitable of going to bed because I don't want to go to the dentist tomorrow, but I have to. Anyways, everybody send good thoughts and prayers, whatever you want to send me, mantra, whatever you want to send me that for tomorrow. It's gonna suck. Anyway, we will catch you guys Tuesday. Hopefully, I'm sure we will. I'm gonna get that done because, yep. And we will catch you guys live next week for next week's pools, which it's actually kind of itty bitty, you know, like I don't even know if we're gonna get past like 10 minutes for our new comic book day video because I only have 7 books. They're all great. I have no DC book. I have no DC books next week and no independent books next week. I have all Marvel books next week. So, unless I'm missing something, I'm sure I am. But anyway, we will catch you guys live next week, and we will be one tooth lighter, if that matters to any of you. And sorry, I'm really hammering into it, but we will see you guys next week. As always, fam, be kind to one another, read more comics, and just be safe out there. Tell somebody you love them, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.
Bye.
Bye. All right.